Phoenix Suns fans, I'm sorry. I apologize. We all got screwed over in the lottery and then some. Could have gotten the #1 overall pick, actually got number 4. That's pretty rough, muffins. But regardless, you can only work with what you have. And the Suns need to ask themselves, is Eric Bledsoe the point guard for this team? Bledsoe's a fine two-way player, but is he a little too old for the young core that's going to take a while to grow for the Phoenix Suns? Would it not benefit them more to draft a point guard and then trade away Eric Bledsoe? But of course, you also have to talk about who's going to work best with Devin Booker, because Booker seems like, at the very least, he could be a big-time scorer. I mean, the guy put up 70 freaking points in a game, and he's put up consistently over 20 points a game, and he's about to enter his 3rd season. I think he's like 20 years old or something crazy like that. I would like his efficiency to go up more. I mean, he's been asked to do quite a bit for them, and because he's so young, I'm not surprised that his efficiency has not been amazing. Hopefully his 3rd season, and with some improvement from the rest of his guys, he can get better there. But I'm also kind of intrigued by his ability to be an all-around player, because dude can definitely dribble. He's not just someone who comes across screens and shoots set shots and sits in the corner. Like, he can create his own shot, and I think that could develop into him being a pretty decent ball handler, or playmaker, I should say. I don't think he'll ever pull like a James Harden and get 11 assists out of nowhere, but being a guy who can put up a solid 5 or maybe even 6 assists a night on top of his incredible scoring, I think Devin Booker could be a hell of a player. Now, there are questions about how good he can be defensively, because, I mean, he's a nice athlete, but he's not killing anybody with his athleticism, and I actually think that could impact who they should actually go for in this draft, which it's Josh Jackson. You saw it in the freaking title, but I'm going to still make you wait like 20 more seconds. Actually, more than that. What was I talking about? Booker's really good, and you need to plan everything you do forward around him and guys who can cater to his style. Now, here's where it's interesting. The 76ers are picking ahead of the Phoenix Suns, and I already talked about in the last video, I said, you know, you put a nice offer in front of the Sixers, I think they'd be willing to move down and go for a guy like Malik Monk, who would fit in very well with Ben Simmons, as well as Joel Embiid. And I think for Phoenix, they should go for one of 2 guys. And one of them is probably going to be gone after number 3, or they could be gone depending on what Philadelphia wants to do. And like I just mentioned, the first one of those guys is Josh Jackson. Now, if you really want Josh Jackson, who I think would fit in just beautifully with this Phoenix Suns team, do you trade something to Philadelphia so you can move up 1 pick just to ensure that you get him? Because I think they pretty much need this guy. If you're looking around for defensive players on this team, Eric Bledsoe can play defense. The rest of the guys, I mean, Alex Len hasn't really answered any of the questions about himself, which pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Marquise Chris might be an athlete, but knowing how to play defense is going to take a while for him. TJ Warren ain't doing nothing on that side of the floor. Devin Booker isn't either, although he could grow into something. Josh Jackson will step in right away and be their best wing defender. And it's a safe pick, you know? Because, of course, offense is nice to look at, and it's intriguing when your guys are so young, but you're going to need some defensive players. But also, offensively, he's never going to lead an offense with his abilities to make guys better. But I do think he can be a nice, like, other guy next to Devin Booker who can have the ball in his hand sometime, maybe run some pick and rolls, bring the ball up floor himself off of a rebound. It just gives you some more offensive versatility, and it just makes you better. I mean, if you're looking at a defensive player who's a great athlete and can still do things offensively to contribute enough, then that's just a hell of a two-way player, and the Suns are in desperate need of some two-way players. And if we're talking about his athleticism, you have to mention him and Marquise Chris could be a hell of a fast break foundation going on with those two jetting up the floor. Could be good, but I think the other player who Phoenix should definitely think about is DeAaron Fox out of Kentucky. Now again, Eric Bledsoe is a fine player, but is he a little too old for just what's going on here in Phoenix? You select DeAaron Fox, well, he's on the exact same career arc as all the other guys. Everybody's young as hell, and he's young as hell as well. I guess that was rhyming accidentally. He's an awesome playmaker. Seems like a dude who can just really create for others and be effective in the pick and roll, and you spread the floor for him, and you already got an awesome player in Devin Booker, whose outside shot has been a little disappointing in the NBA, but I think he has the foundation of being a great shooter. Next to Fox, it kind of goes back to that. He's asked to do so much, and he shoots so many contested shots, like it's expected for his efficiency to be down a little bit. Hopefully DeAaron Fox could just make his day easier on that end. And also we can speak about Booker, because of his scoring abilities. It would help absolve the fact that DeAaron Fox doesn't seem like a guy who's going to be great at putting the ball in the basket, at least in the beginning. I mean, was not a good shooter in college, but you know, if you have the guy next to him who's an awesome offensive player or an awesome scorer, then I think that can help out Fox's case a little bit. It's just going to come down to what they think about Eric Bledsoe. But I do think these two guys Phoenix could definitely use, and I think they need to just ask themselves, like, which one would help us out more? And do we need to trade up with the Sixers, moving just one pick up to ensure that we get our guy? I mean, I don't know. I don't know who Philadelphia is going to end up taking. I know what I suggested they do, but who really knows? But Eric Bledsoe's a damn good point guard that a lot of teams would be willing to take. And if you drafted DeAaron Fox, not only would that give you a good young point guard, it would give you an opportunity to get someone else because of trading Eric Bledsoe. But maybe you go with Josh Jackson as well. I like them both for this team. And Devin Booker, he seems like your superstar, but you're going to need the guys around him, and now it's time to do it.